What's happening, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to Junk Drummer TV. And today's episode is a public service announcement to all of my Millennial and Zoomer viewers, because Uncle Steve cares about your listening habits. This video will not apply to my Gen X and Boomer viewers, because we grew up with a culture of still buying CDs or records. Now, the last two generations, Millennials and Zoomers, this problem that I'm about to rant about isn't really your fault, because you grew up in a culture of buying 99-cent single songs from iTunes or only listening to single videos on YouTube. But please heed my words. Start listening to the record. This problem first came up to me about 10 years ago when a student came in and he wanted to learn Paradise City and Welcome to the Jungle. He was obsessed with those songs. And of course, I taught them to him because he paid me to do so. That's what I do. I'm a drum teacher. After we learned those songs, I asked him about the other songs on the record that he liked. And he told me, much to my surprise, that he had never listened to Appetite for Destruction. Appetite for Destruction is one of the all-time greatest rock and roll records recorded. It's fucking a masterpiece. So when he told me that, I was like, wait, you've never listened to Mr. Brownstone? Which on second thought might not be the greatest song to suggest a teenager to listen to, but it's still a great song despite, the lyrical content. And then he'd never heard My Michelle. So after I realized that these generations that were behind me were not growing up with a record culture. When I was growing up, if you liked a song, like when I heard Smells Like Teen Spirit for the first time, I immediately went out and bought Nevermind on CD. And then, of course, all of those songs are phenomenal, and I liked all of them. This kid had never listened to a full record. All his listening habits was finding out a song that he liked, and he would put that on a playlist, and then that would be the one song or the 2 or 3 songs from a certain artist that he would listen to. It had never even occurred to him to explore the rest of the band's discography. And he got a truncated rant that's going to be basically the video that I'm doing right now. And 2 or 3 weeks later, he came in and he was like, oh, wow, Appetite for Destruction is a phenomenal record. And I think we pretty much learned every song on that record. And I was very proud of myself as a drum teacher, or a teacher in general, because I was able to influence this kid to listen to the whole record. Now, again, I'm not blaming Millennials and Zoomers, because the idea of like going out and buying a full piece of content from a band is kind of obsolete, unfortunately. Now, the reason why I made this video was because this happened to me last week. I've got this female student, and she's a huge metal fan. Like, all she does is wear Megadeth t-shirts. So it's my responsibility to foster that love. And for some reason, Pantera came up, and like, if I talk to like one of my heavy metal fan students, Pantera always comes up. If you're a fan of this channel, you know that Pantera is one of my all-time favorite bands. And she's like, oh yeah, I love Pantera. I love Walk, and I love This Love. I was like, oh, those are really fucking great songs. What are some other songs that you like off that record? And then she told me, she has never listened to a full record as well. And she also got a truncated rant that's very much like the video you're watching right now. Imagine liking Pantera because you found Walk, which is a masterpiece, and This Love, which is a great song, and then not being aware of songs like A New Level and fucking Hostile. I was like, she had never heard fucking Hostile. She was a Pantera fan, and she had never heard fucking Hostile, and it broke my heart. So hopefully in a few weeks, she's going to come back and be like, I've listened to A Vulgar Display of Power, and I love all of these songs. Imagine living in a world where maybe you come to Led Zeppelin through a Stairway to Heaven. Like, that's a song that you would, if you were a, millennial Zoomer, that's one that maybe you would find out Led Zeppelin through. And imagine finding that song, falling in love with it, and not going the next step and listening to Black Dog or Battle of Evermore, which is on Led Zeppelin 4, kiddos. Imagine finding out about Jeff Buckley through his amazing version of Hallelujah, and then not going the next step and finding out about Grace and Last Goodbye, which is, two of the best songs on that most perfect record that's ever been recorded. If you're a fan of my channel, you know that Jeff Buckley's Grace is my favorite record of all time. So, because Uncle Steve cares about you and only wants the best for you, millennials and Zoomers, please listen to the whole record. I promise you that you will find things that are going to enrich your lives. If you like a single song, that one song that you paid 99 cents for, holy shit, man, 99 cents. That sounds too cheap. But if that one song that you dig, there's like another group of songs that was written at the same time and as a portrait of where that band was at that time on a full record, and go listen to all of them. Deep album cuts are dying on the vine, and we can't let that happen. Great example, Dusty Hill died last week, and I'm a huge ZZ Top fan. And in honor of him, I went through my record collection, I listened to all my ZZ Top records, and I had forgot about this song called Master of Sparks on Tres Hombres. Now, there's hits on that record. Just Got Paid, We're Waiting on the Bus. But man, Master of Sparks is like a masterpiece song. Like, the drum track on that is phenomenal, and I forgot about it, but I was being enriched and being reminded of how great Frank Beard and ZZ Top was in general from this deep album cut that's never going to be heard on Sirius XM. Does anyone listen to Sirius XM anymore? Is that even relevant? But that's just an example of listening to the full record. So this is going to be a short video because there's not much more to say. Millennials and Zoomers, if you find a song you dig, go explore, because you're going to probably find more songs from that band that you like. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.